Nothing's off limits with this duo. It's father and daughter, Don and Cher. And join the club if you're a Chattermouth.
Hey y'all, it's Cher and Dawn. And welcome back to the Chattermouth podcast. How's it going? So today we have a very good-looking guest. I know, where is he? It's my husband, Chered Couple.
Hey y'all.
So good to have you, Chered. I am so excited that you're coming on this podcast with us just to talk. Yeah. Are you excited?
So excited. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at you two. Matching shirts.
I know. What do you think?
It looks good.
You like our little
Chattermouth mouse?
I do. Are those your mouse? Did you put your own mouse on those?
Oh my gosh, are you saying our mouths are this big?
Is that actual size?
Oh my goodness. So funny. So I'm so excited just to have you on and talk with us about I guess first impressions.
Yeah,
things.
how you met, what you thought of Cher when you first... Well, let's get right into it.
Let's just get into it.
All right, here we go.
Get into it. So tell the audience, tell the listeners here, how the two of you met, and Cher.
First of all, who is the listener? Who am I talking to here?
All the Chattermouths, of course.
These are all impressional young women. Should I be talking in a sultry voice like this?
It could be some men out there too.
Oh, so then I better macho it up then. Yeah, so Cher and I met.
your sex phone operator voice on.
Yeah, Cher and I met on a Tuesday. It was late, real late. So actually, we met on the internet.
We did.
We met on the internet a long time ago.
14 years ago.
It was that long?
Yeah.
You're just counting the days since you've met me, all the time that it's been?
That's so long.
14 years, wow.
That's a long time.
How long are you married now?
9 years. I did remember that. Mm-hmm. So thank you for giving me a way to redeem myself. We just celebrated our 9-year wedding anniversary this past year. So
that's
it'll be
unbelievable.
Big 10 next year.
Yeah.
But we did meet on the internet, right?
We did.
We met on a Facebook group. So it's actually not that cool. It's very nerdy. So back then, Facebook was only allowed for people in college. So once you got into college, you got a college email address, and then you were able to get a Facebook account. And so I was so excited because all I had at that point was a MySpace page. Right?
Yeah.
And then I finally was able to get a Facebook account and get onto Facebook. And I joined this, I joined this University of Florida, which is where we both went to college, the class of 2008 student group. And then there was also a Jewish class of 2008 group, an incoming Jewish freshman group. Because, I just wanted to see who I could meet. And lo and behold, one night I'm sitting at my computer and I get a message, and it's from Cher. Cher messaged me first on the Facebook, through the Facebook group. How did you find me in that big group? There was hundreds of kids in that.
You were just so cute. No, but in reality, I messaged so many people. I really didn't grow up with many Jewish friends at all in general. And so I just wanted to make new friends. I wanted to meet new Jewish people as well. And I wanted to just meet people going to UF. And so I messaged a bunch of guys, a bunch of girls. And luckily I did, because you were one of the people that I reached out to.
Wow, lucky you, Chered.
I saw this girl message me, and I looked at her pictures, and I was like, oh my God, this is the most beautiful girl I have ever seen in my whole life. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? And I was like, okay, here we go. At that point, I thought I was really cool, because you're ending high school, so you're the king and queens of your little domain, and before you go to college and you realize you're nothing. So we chatted for a little bit, right? We chatted for a little bit, some things back and forth, So then that was it. That was it.
Yeah.
But that was the introduction.
Wait a minute. So I want to just tell girls, young girls out there and guys out there, you can be the first one to message someone, and don't let anything stop you, because you never know.
You never know. Let's continue.
That was great. That was great.
Little public service announcement.
So we didn't hear from each other, and then until it was like right about before fall started. So I did like the early admission, like do like 1 credit over the summertime, like semester. It was like a half semester over the summertime to get some extra exposure, and then I was an idiot and I screwed up and I never applied for dorms or whatever. Long story short, I ended up moving into this apartment with a friend of mine.
Right.
So I had an apartment and we were going to have a housewarming party because we just moved in and the semester was about to start and we were both thinking like, who should we invite? Let's have a really fun party. So I invite Cher. So I was like, oh, I should invite that girl that I was talking to. She's so beautiful. I should invite her. So I invited Cher, and so I messaged her. I sent this whole long invite. And what'd you think?
I don't think I responded.
No, you responded, but you were just like, definitely not.
In my head, I was like, this guy is inviting me to his house. I've never met him before. Like, this could be a kidnapping thing. Like, what is this? I didn't know. I was like, this is weird. I don't know you. I'm not going to come to your apartment. And first of all, why are you in an apartment? You should be in a dorm. You know?
Totally fair. All totally fair.
Okay, I'm like not gonna go. So I didn't end up coming, and I think that was kind of the last that we spoke after that.
Correct.
Right?
So that was it. After that, I was like, you thought I was weird, and I could kind of tell. You know how sometimes even through like texting or messaging, you can kind of get a vibe that somebody's not really into you.
I think also we didn't speak for a while, and then all of a sudden you invite me to this party at your house.
Right. It was all out of the blue.
Yeah.
Right. So I could tell you were not really into it. So we kind of, then school started. So we both did fraternity, sorority life. Yeah. I was pledging my fraternity, which was like crazy for all different reasons. And then you were doing sorority.
Yeah.
Right. So then it was like, what was it? Like November? It was like...
Yeah. It was like November.
It was like end of November. I remember because I had just finished pledging. Mm-hmm. So I was a new fraternity brother. Yeah. I'd just been like graduated from pledging and I thought I was the coolest guy because now I was in this huge fraternity. We were having these huge crazy parties and I was like the new kid on the block. Right. And so we were having one of our late night parties. Which a late night is what you have after the bars close. So it's like 2
in the morning.
It's after 2 in the morning because the bar
after hour party.
Right, it's an after hour party. In Gainesville, the bars all close at 2, and then you want to keep going. You don't want to end at 2. So we have this party, and it's this big house that was like trash basically, and it was like the worst, most disgusting house. But there was all these people there, and I'm standing there at the party talking to people, and from across the room, it's like a Romeo and Juliet situation. I see Cher. Yeah. I see her from across she had just come into the party. I can't remember who you were with.
There? I was there with one of my girlfriends. Oh, it was like right behind the bar. I know, don't judge me for being out at 2 in the morning at a party, after hours party, but no, I just so Jared was actually like in the cool frat, I would say, and I was like, oh, let's go to this cool frat party. I got invited to, so I go, and then he comes up to me, so continue.
So I see Cher from across the room, and at that point I'm like, oh, she's at my fraternity party. I got this. I saunter up, and maybe I had, I'm not gonna say I had a drink, but maybe I did, and maybe I had more than one, and then I tried to shoot my shot, which came out as like a jumbled mess of things that I thought were cool, but probably weren't cool.
You did ask me to go outside, and we went outside and we talked a little bit, and you were talking about like 2 cool things that I was like, okay, this guy, I don't know. But you did ask for my number.
Right. Yeah. And you gave me your number, and we talked for a while. And that was great. Yeah. That was great. So that was November. So we had a late night first meeting in person. Right. Yeah. So see, not everything bad happens after 2 a.m.
There you go.
Good things do happen after 2 if you go out.
Any kiss or anything there?
No, just a number exchange.
I don't think so.
No, I know so.
No, I know there was no, but I didn't think it didn't feel right. So I know there was no kiss. There was definitely no kiss.
No, it was just a talk.
Just a talk.
Because Jared came up to me, he's like, hey, wait a second. Are you that girl that I met on Facebook? Are you Cher, like that girl I met on Facebook? Because at first I was like, huh? And then you said Facebook. I was like, oh yeah. Like we talked, you said, oh, I invited you to a party. Like, I'm like, oh yeah. And then we started talking.
Yeah. So we Yeah. So it was. So what Cher's not telling the listener is that weren't you actually talking to like 6 different dudes at the same time?
I was. And I gave out my number to someone else at the party too that night.
Yeah.
But
You're a player.
I was in my day.
So don't let her fool you.
Yeah.
Don't let her fool you.
No, you taught me well, Mom.
So after I got her number, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for it. So I think I called. Did I call you or text you?
Yeah, I think you called.
I think I called because at that time
I remember what happened.
What happened?
That's right. I remember being in the mall, actually. I was walking in the mall and you called me. You're like, hey, how's it going? And we were talking. It was great conversation. And then I was like, oh, yeah, you live in Tampa, so we should. And you're like, no, I don't. And I was like, oh. And then you said to me, like, you thought I was someone else, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. And it was like so awkward. And then we like didn't speak after that.
Yeah.
You like were mad at me.
I was kind of mad. I was kind of mad.
Because I gave my number out. I like thought he was somebody else.
Right.
Because we were having a good conversation. We were like flirting.
What made me upset is that you said, isn't your name Jason?
Yeah,
you said something like that. You asked me.
I was like, is this Justin?
Or Justin, yeah. And I was like, definitely not. So you like...
I totally messed up.
Yeah, you totally messed up.
I was not fly, no.
Yeah. So then I was like, I think that was the last. Then I was like, you know what? I'm not feeling this.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know like that you were talking
Like,
to a bunch of people.
I'm that cool.
Which I was like, she doesn't think I'm that cool, and other people think I'm cool. So why should I talk to this girl who doesn't think I'm cool when like maybe someone else thinks I'm cool? But then, basically that was it, and then it was winter break. So I had tried to get you to go out with me. We were like talking on the phone, but you were like too busy because you were kind of dating somebody else, right?
I was like talking to other people.
You were like talking to other people.
Yeah.
But you were too busy for me, basically. Cher was really the cool one. That's the reality. She was really the cool one. So it was winter break. We both went home to our respective houses, and then I think you reached out to me or something?
I was driving home from the cruise, actually, our family cruise that we always go on, and I was like looking through my messages, and I was like, I haven't heard from this guy in a while, and he's in the cool fraternity house, and so I want to be invited to the party.
Oh, there we go.
So I was like, let me hit him up and see how he is, and so I wrote to him. I was like, hey, like, how's it going? And you replied back to me, and you're like, is this a mass text message?
Yeah, it felt like a mass text message.
That's so funny.
And I was like, and then you were calling me out. I was like, people don't call me out. And I was like, no, this isn't. And then later that night, you called me and you were like, hey.
Well, because she sends me this long text message, and it just had that feeling like it was a mass text message. Like, it wasn't anything specific about me in it. It was a long one. It seemed like it was copy and pasted. So then we were chatting, funny. And I was like, "Is this a mass text?" Like, and you were like, "No, definitely not." Yeah. Like, you had said something like, "Oh, I want like we should get together. Like we should finally like get together." Something like that. So then I was like, "Okay, I call you," and so I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna try this one last time."
And I love the fact that you called me.
Because at that point, I felt like if you're gonna ask a girl on a date and you're gonna like actually try and go for that first date, you should call rather than text. That was before all like the apps and everything. So now like messaging to set up a date is more common because with all the apps that you can only message before people.
No, but I still love when someone calls.
Yeah,
it shows confidence.
Better, yeah.
But anyways, he called me up and he's like, okay, you're like, you literally said, this is the last time I'm going to try. I want to take you on a date Tuesday night. And you took me out on the date.
Where was that?
And I said, okay. He literally called me. I was like, you literally said, this is the last time I'm going to try.
I did say that.
Because you like had asked me a few times and I guess I was busy. And you're like, this is the
She was talking to other guys.
AKA busy. And you're like, the last time I'm going to try, I want to take you out Tuesday night. And I said, okay. And we went out on our first date and he took me to a pizza place, this place Satchel's. And
not just a pizza place, like a really cutesy,
right,
like,
it wasn't just a pizza place. It was a very cool,
artsy, fartsy kind of place.
And I remember what won me over. He's like, "What should we order?" And I said, "I'm vegetarian." And he got pizza with tempeh on it and carrots on it. Like that was really cool.
Yeah, I never had tempeh.
And he wasn't
before.
vegetarian back then. He never had. But
you thought that was so thoughtful.
It was so
because you were interested. You thought, "Oh, that's so cool. This place has tempeh on pizza." I was like, "What's tempeh?" And she was like, "Oh, it's so good." I was like, "Okay, let's try it."
Yeah. And I remember it was such a good date. I remember afterwards we went to the water fountains like behind it, and that was where we had our first kiss.
We did kiss.
Yeah, at this like recycled water fountain. Do you remember? It was like all
Yeah,
recycled,
it's very cool.
which is very like dignus of our, or whatever the word is for our relationship.
Right.
Like,
It's very on brand.
Yeah, very on brand for us. And we had our first kiss there. And then do you remember what happened after that?
Yeah. So at this point,
Right.
I had been talking, but I never knew about any of the Sweet 16 stuff.
Right.
And then we had just kissed, or like we were like
Yeah.
finishing kissing, or like maybe even somebody while we were kissing, a car drives by and some girl rolls down her window and says, "Aren't you Cher from?" And I didn't even hear what she said. She said like that show or something. "Aren't you Cher?" And you were like very polite to them, like you always are. And I was like, "What is that talking about?" And then you kind of like brushed it off. And I still at that time didn't really understand what was going on.
Right.
Which is really crazy to think about. So I will say that then we went on our separate ways, and we ended up talking again, and we ended up dating. But I will say that I never knew about the Sweet 16 or any of that until it was well into our relationship.
Which I really liked, because I remember when I was just on the show, people would kind of like want to like me. I was worried about like for the show, like they would try to like want to hook up with a girl from Sweet 16 or things like that. So the fact that you didn't know about that, I really liked.
But weren't you curious to at that
he
point?
didn't watch my Super Sweet 16 until like 3 years into us dating.
Right.
Like you did not watch it.
Or we were married or already engaged or something? Because
It was
we
very
did it
long
on
into.
TV. Didn't we do an episode of
where you
on
watched it for the
MTV?
first
They
time.
did like a
We were married.
remix, like a rewatch. They replayed it, but it was like us in like a little side bubble while the episode played of me watching it and like making stupid comments during the show. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
So that was my first.
But weren't you
TV
curious
thing.
and wanting to see her on and see the show?
So what happened was at that point I was like, I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't know what was going on. And maybe I was just like, for whatever reason, willfully ignorant. And then my friend told me after like a month or two into us dating about like blah, blah, blah. And they told me about your past, told me about the show. I never liked the show because a girl I knew from my hometown was on the show, and she was so mean on the show. I saw her episode. She was so mean. I think she was probably one of the meanest ones.
Yeah, she was
looking
the
back
meanest
at it, which I didn't know. And that was the only one I watched. So I was like, I hate this show. I'm not watching it. I'm not going to watch it at all. So I never watched any other
and
episodes.
you didn't want to think differently of me.
Correct. Because I was worried that I was going to see Cher acting like that girl that I knew from my hometown, and I was going to get totally turned off from somebody that she was 4 years ago at that point.
I see.
I didn't want to judge her based on something else. And then we was maybe like a year later, I was at the gym. I was running on the treadmill, and Cher's, and like I was like got to the treadmill, and there was a commercial, and like the commercial ended, and Cher's episode came on, but it was at this scene where Cher was like judging these like all these guys that were shirtless, and that was what came on TV, and it was like Cher in a bikini. Looking blonde. I had never seen you blonde before. And like all these like 15-year-old guys that were shirtless and like trying to show off, and you were like judging their hotness. Yeah. And I was just like, screw this. And I like left the gym, and then I just like was like, I don't want to watch it if that's what it's like.
Right.
So funny.
That's
because
funny.
I didn't know what else I was gonna see if I watched the whole thing. So I never watched it until
You were married.
Until we were married, and MTV actually came and recorded us watching it
and
together.
was it that bad?
No, that was like by far
She was the
the
sweetest
craziest
girl
thing.
on it.
You were so nice. You were so nice. And now talking to you about it and like knowing the behind the scenes and like what like they wanted you to do, you know, and how things went it's very on brand for how you are as a person, which is very sweet and really a sweet person. 16.
It's about that time in our podcast where we're going to hit pause because we have something really exciting that we want to share with you.
We wrote a book together.
That's right. It's called A Bond That Lasts Forever. And basically, it's how we got this close and how you can too. It goes over all of our life's ups and downs, our struggles and obstacles, and became as close as we are today.
We share tips and quotes and actionable steps on how you can create your own ideal relationship. We even share photos on us throughout the years so you can see us on a whole different new level.
It's so true. Anyways, we loved writing this book, but we hope that you love reading it just as much, or maybe even a little bit more. Anyways, you can pick up the book at abondthatlastforever.com. You can get it at Walmart, on Amazon, at Barnes & Noble's,
or wherever you get your books.
Hey, you're stealing my line. Anyways, we hope you love reading it. Now, let's get back to the podcast.
She was the only Sweet 16er that I think that why she was so popular is because she wasn't mean. She just her true colors. You can't make her mean. She's not a mean person.
Thanks. But we've been together for a long time. We've had a wild ride. So it's so funny because since not knowing I was on TV, then we ended up doing Inoperable together, a movie together. I ended up getting you on the screen. So you've now smothered.
Well, first, even before that, we were on Let's Make a Deal. So that was my first. That was my first time being on TV. We were on Let's Make a Deal.
That was hilarious.
Which was hilarious.
And we won
lots of money. Yeah, we won lots of money. At that time, we
used that money.
We were medicals. I was a medical student, and we really needed that money.
Wait, what did you dress up as? Let's Make a Deal?
So I went to California. I was doing basically like an externship at one of the hospitals there for a hope that they would take me for a residency. And right, like on one of the last days, Cher was like, "Look, we can go to Let's Make a Deal, be in the audience, and maybe even get on the show. But we got to dress up like some zany costume because everyone's dressed up." I was like, "We're here just for a month. I don't have anything." So I took some scrubs from the hospital,
very cheap,
and like a disposable stethoscope, and we pretended to be doctors and nurses.
We just went all out.
And we went all out. We had like 2 cups of espressos, and we were just like, high energy. We were like, because there's a point where you're all standing in line before the show, and like the production assistants all come by and they're like, "Why do you want to be on the show?" And some people were like, "Oh, because it'd be really cool." And they're just like, "Cool, next." And it's like you're obviously not gonna be like, and you could just tell like that. And like I think you had like a friend who had been on or something,
like
and you were like, and Cher was like, "This is the moment that they decide who gets to be on the show." So we were like so crazy, and we were like, "We really need this money because all of my loans. I got so many medical loans. I'm in debt." And they picked us to be on the show.
When you hear your name called,
it was so
must
cool.
have been that adrenaline.
Well, in between every like commercial break, you had to like dance like crazy.
Yeah.
We were just like,
yeah, they want you to dance, and they put us like right down in front. You don't. It's not like you don't sit based on where you are in line. They assign you to a seat. So they literally put us like right down in front. So not like behind the main stage. So like even we didn't know we were going to be on, but like we were like in the whole show the whole time. So we were like
incredible.
Like smiles like the whole time. My cheeks hurt from all the smiling we were doing.
I forgot about that.
Me too.
And then they picked us, and Wayne Brady made fun of us because we were like a young couple in love, and he made fun of us. And I thought that was really funny.
That was funny.
Wow!
Gosh,
and you actually won when you were up there.
We won lots of money. I think it was $3,000.
Something like that. So we played this game where there was like
incredible.
10 piggy banks in a row, and each piggy bank either had money in it or it had what do they call it?
I don't know. But
The
there was like
zonk or zoink or zonk? A zonk, which is like an out. And if you get a zonk, then you're out. And Cher and I each could switch off picking which one. And if Cher gets a zonk or I get a zonk, we're out. And if both of us get one, then it's done. And if we can either continue to go until the very end or take the money and run. It's like you can decide to quit whenever. So we're both picking, and then Cher eventually picks a zonk. And I was like, I think I can go one more time. So I picked it, and then there was like 3 left or something like that.
To win like the grand prize.
To win the grand prize. And I was like, either I can keep going or I can and possibly lose all this money and like be a loser on TV and lose everything and walk away with nothing, or I can just cut it short.
And I was like, keep going. I want all the money.
And I was like, I don't want to be a loser on TV and go walk away with nothing. Being a very risk averse person that I am, I took the money and we.
Which I'm happy about, because didn't they try it one more time? They're like, which would you have chosen? They did do that.
No, well, I went after you got out. I went one more time because I feel like the odds were good, and then there was only like 3 left. And I was like, I'm too scared to. I'm too scared.
That was awesome.
So thankfully, we walked away winners.
We
such
did.
a memory.
And I'm happy you picked that. Yeah. Luckily, you didn't listen to me, because who knows.
So
But it was very
So that was the
cool.
first time I was on TV.
Yeah, that's true.
That was
Wait, so
amazing.
I have a question for you. What was your thoughts of my mom when you first met her?
Oh, you were so nice. You were always so nice.
Were you nervous coming to the house and meeting me for the first time?
Cher always told me that if you liked me, then I had great chances. If you didn't like me, then it was
then you must have
over.
been very nervous.
It was over. But even though she said that, I always felt very warm feelings, and you were very sweet. Knowing you now, I probably didn't realize how do or die that first meeting was because knowing how shrewd of a judge of character you are, but you were always very sweet, very welcoming to me. I was more scared of your dad just because it's the father of the girl you're dating.
And he's more quiet.
And he's more quiet, more reserved,
right.
but he was very nice too.
Yeah, it's funny, you met my parents only 2 weeks after we started dating. Isn't that kind of crazy?
I remember you came in, you were wearing
Yeah.
shorts and
'Cause
like
we
an
came for-
eyes-on shirt, and you had big glasses on.
Oh, that's the cute.
The big nerd.
Wait, was it the big gold glasses? I wonder if it was.
I don't know.
I just remember the glasses.
What did you think of him?
shorts. I thought he was just very sweet and very poised, and
That's so funny.
I was definitely checking.
did
I
they
was
know?
definitely sizing you up and making sure you were. I had this great smile on the inside. I was definitely making sure you were
so-
okay for
She's
sure.
like, "What's your major? What do you do?"
Yeah, I was expecting
Where are
all
you
that.
from?
Yeah.
But now that we all got to know you, our families, our values were like exactly the same.
Exactly.
Which is why you and my mom always got along so well.
Loved your mom. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah.
But
What else is similar?
I was glad to meet your parents because
Yeah.
knowing you got to know the family, the girl you're dating.
Right.
And then I saw your mom. I was like, this is what I have to look forward to. I was like, nice.
That's so funny. Oh my goodness. That is too funny. Oh man. Okay. Well, I want to play a little game to see who knows me better. It's gonna be mom or you, baby. So, are you guys ready for this?
Oh gosh, I hope I don't disappoint.
Wait, before I get started, what was your first impression of me?
Of
And
you?
how has that changed to right now? Yeah.
Well,
We asked this to my dad too.
I always thought you were the nicest person. You were very sweet. You're
Still think that?
I still think that. I know that you were, but you were a little airheady, maybe. You weren't like. I felt that. You were a little childish. Like you didn't know. Like
I was a
you
child.
didn't know how to
I
like.
was a child.
You
I
didn't
was
know like how a
18.
debit
I
card
was 18.
worked, or like how to write a check, or
He
like
taught me how to use my
or
first
like any like the things like basic things like that. I think you didn't really know.
Give me money.
You didn't really know how to cook or like how to like do laundry or like really. You were very.
You always did. I did everything.
We like so grew up together,
Right.
So
Crazy.
cute.
But Cher always was like the good angel on my shoulder that like taught me like you have to be nice to people and if you want something, this is how you go about getting it the nice way, which I think is knowing now is probably something you taught her. But I think that we always, because like I've always been the more like grounded, more, I'm going to say this in the nicest way, maybe a little bit more responsible in terms of like,
Yeah, true.
I mean, your mom always says like, oh, this is an important document, so I'm going to give this to you, Jared.
So true.
But you've always been like the big dreamer and like you always are the one who like finds a way to get things done.
Yes.
And even back then, I could tell like that you got what you want, you knew what you want, and you got what you want.
Right.
And that I could tell that even without knowing all of the TV and stuff that you were a star and that you shined brighter than anyone else in the room, which is why even when you first walked in the room, even though it was full of people, I was able to spot you right away.
Wow.
Thank you. How have I changed to today? Like,
Well,
How am I different?
you look exactly the same. You're more beautiful now, I think. I think that you've grown up a lot. Now you own a business, you're an entrepreneur, you can do all the stuff that you like didn't know how to do before you taught yourself because besides like you were a nurse, but then like I stayed in medicine and you kind of branched out and I don't know how to do a lot of that business type stuff that you do and you taught yourself all that.
Yeah.
And I think that you've only blossomed and you've become your own person. I mean, you definitely gone beyond what your parents would have thought for you, and you've taken them on the way. And now you brought your mom into the fold.
That's
true. You really like you grew into yourself.
Oh,
like,
you
you're
guys.
so bright. You're so smart.
I know.
And you teach yourself anything. And you also are like Daddy. You're a doer. You make things happen.
Thank you.
Right, which a lot of people are talkers. A lot of people will say, I have this idea, and they'll talk about how they're such an entrepreneur and they have big ideas. But Cher is like, will say, I have this idea, and then she'll, like 2 months later, it's done.
It's done. That's what's amazing.
Like the emails are sent, the book is written, and like it's all figured out already. And
she makes things happen.
Thank you guys.
That's a wonderful quality.
I think it's because I have such a good team here with you guys. So thank you so much. Well, let's get to this game real quick before we run out of time. So I'm going to ask you guys a question, and then I want you to state the answer and who could say it first.
Okay.
Sound good? Okay. You ready? So, game on, you two.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
All right. My favorite color.
Pink and purple.
Right. Pink and purple. It has to be both. Okay. When I was a little girl, what was my best friend's name? My best friend from when I was a little girl.
Heather?
Yes.
I forgot her name.
Okay. Favorite movie?
Clueless.
Oh. I guess
There's 3, and that is one of the correct answers. So it could be there's any of the 3 I'll accept.
Oh.
Okja.
That was the other one.
And then Clueless, Okja, and then I would say
Aladdin?
So the one it's about family, adopting the family.
No, that's a really good one too, but it wasn't though.
Earthlings.
No. It was Okja, Clueless, and She's All That.
Oh, She's All That.
You should have known
All
that.
That.
Okay, very good, Jared. I'll give that to you for sure. Okay, my favorite dessert.
Mint chocolate
chip
ice cream.
Cookies. Oh.
Chocolate chip cookies.
Oh.
But that would be go through, yes. But that would go for an ice cream flavor, but
Yeah, I give her the
It's
credit.
cookies.
Yeah, she's right. She's right.
okay, so wait, how many have you gone so far? Who's winning?
I think she's in front of me.
you're
No, I
not.
think
Okay.
we're even.
Yeah. I think you guys are
We're even.
Okay. What grade was it that I broke my arm?
3rd grade.
No, you were in middle school. No, you were in high school. 9th grade?
9th grade, correct.
Oh.
Jared, I broke my arm cheerleading.
Cheerleading. You fell.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
Right.
No, they dropped me.
They dropped
threw
you.
me in the air and didn't catch
And that
me.
was the last time I let
Yes,
her
and that was it of my
cheerleading.
cheerleading career.
That's right.
Okay. Let's see. What was the name of my high school mascot?
Hurricanes.
Yes. I gave you guys 10. Okay. What sports did I play in high school?
What sport you played?
Tap dance.
Tennis?
No, you guys, cheerleading's still a sport. I literally
Oh,
just talked about cheerleading 2
I
seconds
know
ago.
it's a sport.
But I thought you did
But I also
competitive
did
dance.
dance, so Jared will get that point.
Yeah.
Competitive dance, like every day.
You know I did dance.
I know you did dance.
Tennis. That was Daddy. That was Chad and Grant. Okay, next one.
Would you play tennis too, though?
No one would play with me. Well, I only know how to play tennis now thanks to Jared. Right? Okay.
Now you're good.
Now I'm good. My favorite pizza topping.
Pineapple.
Yes. Jared, what took you so long? It's your favorite too.
It is my favorite. But that's controversial, so we shouldn't talk about that on the podcast. Some people hate pineapple on pizza.
Why?
Some people think it's like
Daddy
you're like.
doesn't.
Some people think that
My
like
husband.
anyone who likes pineapple with pizza is like a red flag.
Really?
Yeah, so you shouldn't. It's like so
Wait,
one of those
red
things.
flag
If
to
you meet
what?
somebody new that you don't really know, you got to be very careful and like tease it out if they like pineapple on pizza before telling them you like pineapple pizza, because some people think it's disgusting. I don't know why. I think it's good.
That's crazy. Okay, that's crazy. What beauty product is it that I can't live without? Or what beauty product do I always have in my purse?
Oh, lip gloss.
That's
Oh,
true.
man, you're slow to the podcast.
I feel like you should have gotten that.
That
Yeah,
one I
okay.
should have got. Chattermouth lip gloss.
That's right.
Chattermouth lip gloss. Chattermouth brand lip gloss.
That's right, it is. What is my biggest fear?
Oh, something happening to me.
Yeah, something happening to someone I love.
I was gonna say Belle. Something happened to Belle.
Someone I love. Okay, what was my first job?
Your first job?
You worked in the office.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In your dad's office.
that's right. Okay, who was my childhood celebrity crush?
Justin Timberlake.
That's right.
All
Okay.
over her walls. She loved
Very
it.
good.
And then when, honestly, it's always Justin Timberlake. But when you came to the house, you to me at that time resembled Justin Timberlake.
She said that to me always. Right away.
Yes,
You picked
and
Justin
I
Timberlake.
whispered to her, I said, oh my God, I said, you picked a Justin Timberlake.
And then yes, back then.
There you go.
Yes.
That is so funny. Well, you both did a great job. I think, Jared, you won. I don't know.
From the lip gloss?
You just didn't say it fast enough.
Oh, I
You were
didn't say
very
it fast
close.
enough.
I don't know.
Lip gloss.
Maybe it was a tie. What do you think?
I don't know. I'll give her the tie.
Okay. Well, great job, everybody. Anyways, Jared, thank you so much for coming on this
it was
podcast.
so
That
much
was
fun.
So fun. Oh gosh, you have
We
to come
get
back.
down to the nitty and gritty about the real two of you.
Oh, thanks for having me.
cute.
This has been great.
Oh, I
Can
love
I come
you.
back?
Thank you. 100%. Please, what are you doing tomorrow? What's your schedule? Like, no, I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
Anyways, thank you all so much for listening to the Chattermouth podcast. This was so much fun. We'll see
Yeah.
you all next time.
Bye.